Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. Using girls on the rise. Reviewing games, and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Lumbus Post 1975 and welcome to another Fat Friday video, a series of videos where I take a look at some interesting things you can find to eat in the high street. Mouth's gone, just thought I'd say that at the start for a change. What do I have to eat this week? It's another pizza. You watch this series of videos and you know me and pizza have a love-hate relationship. That one I had the other day was absolutely shit, so there's no love for that. That's purely hate. But I do like pizza. And this product came from Iceland, so they have formed, particularly with this range of pizzas that they do. But cooking a pizza to perfection when they give you those instructions that at best are just vague. They give you a range, don't they? They give you a bracket to get it to perfection within, which I just find too difficult. Plus, I'm relying on that beast there. I noticed that the lights come back on, but it was preheated because I turned it on, then I pissed off down the road. To get some knickknacks for food for tomorrow that's got nothing to do with this video. So why aren't you preheated? Anyway, I'm preheating it to 180 degrees. I haven't checked the cooking instructions on this bad boy yet, but I'm going to assume that's about right for a pizza. Anyway, really am dying. What do I have to eat this week? Well, as I mentioned, I've been to Iceland, and you've already seen the thumbnail, but I have Iceland's wood fire. That's the range I'm talking about. The bases are amazing. Wood fire, stone-baked pizza, 24-hour rested dough for an even crispier base. Prove it. Hot honey pepperoni, made in Italy. Really? New recipe, hand finished with delicious toppings and an authentic Italian base. I don't know how it can be a new recipe because it may not be brand new, but I definitely haven't seen this because I constantly keep, afresh of their pizzas, if you will, looking to see if they do any more super hot and spicy ones. And apparently they do a hot sauce one, which I haven't seen. So I'm going to keep my eye on it for that one. If anyone's had it, don't tell me, don't want to know, no spoilers, okay? So, yeah, so this is a 3 chili rated pizza. As you know me, normally I don't get out of bed for anything less than 3 chili ratings, so it meets that basic stipulation. But 3 chili ratings, not bad for a pizza. I have had their scary hot pizza in this range, and let's be honest, that was never going to be around about 3 chili rating. The whole point of their scary spicy range, which is absolutely banging, as you wouldn't die, as you would know if you watched this series of videos, is it's supposed to be off the chart hot. So that's pretty, that's pretty up there for a pizza. The other thing is, they're obviously jumping on this bandwagon at the moment, aren't they? Which is all the pizza places now have a hot honey pizza, don't they? I don't know when that became a thing. I do know, and I still haven't tried it, and I was going to put it on pizza because of the fact that it seems to be a craze now. But yeah, Hilltop hot honey, that's a 3 chili rating. So apparently, hot honey on pizza is a thing. I know that because I've seen loads of people eat them on YouTube. And by that I mean not store-bought pizza, but, takeout bought pizza. So, never one to miss a gimmick or a brand, but I'll let them off because, to be honest, with their hot and spicy range, super hot and spicy range, they created a gimmick and a brand. Anyway, let's have a look at the back. A real Italian pizza. Really? Made in Meduno, a small village near Venice in northern Italy. The dough for this pizza is prepared and rested for 24 hours, cooked traditionally in a stone-baked oven, producing a delicious, thin and crispy base, hand-finished with a selection of rich and savoury ingredients, which adds to the delicate taste of the pizza. Insert stock picture here, and in case you forgot, it's made in Italy. So, cooking instructions. Fan, 200 degrees Celsius, for we care not for the Fahrenheit. You know who else doesn't care for the Fahrenheit? That would be Robert. Robert says hello. Hello. Keeping me thin since I was a child. He should be pensioner now, really, then, shouldn't he? Right, so 13 to 15 minutes. Gas mark 7. 200 degrees Celsius for a pizza. Nah, you're staying at 180 degrees, and I'm checking you at 10 minutes. So, instructions, ingredients. Plain tomato sauce. Plain tomato sauce. Okay, that's not a good start, is it? Tomato puree. More tomato puree. Olive oil, dextrose. I'm just skipping through to see hot stuff. can't see hot stuff. And I'm bored of reading now. If it's not in the top 2 lines of the ingredients, then it's not going to be super hot, is it? But by all means, have a look at that bad boy and read, because I simply can't be asked. Because like I said, if it's not in the 2 top lines of it, it's not going to be hot, and I get bored quite easily. But also, this range, this series of videos has bit me in the ass when stuff has been right at the bottom, and it's still been a bit warm, if you will. So, do I have anything new in Crisp Corner? Why, yes, I do. Anyone who knows me knows that if they come across anything that they don't think I've ever had, or anything that's a little bit different in the crisp, world, or the hot sauce world, then buy it for me, get it for me, and I'll hit you back. Viva chips, pizza style, produce expanded. I can't even read that because obviously I'm not blind. Yeah, so the reason I'm interested in these is, if you're of my generation, and obviously you lived in this country, so that's fine for this video, because one of you who doesn't live in this country, who watches my videos, will never have heard of the crisp I'm going to make. Who remembers Bits of Pizza? Bits of Pizza were like a legendary crisp when I was a kid. There were 2 flavours. I can't remember what either of them are, so they can't be that legendary. And they obviously got discontinued. And I want to say they got discontinued before I got to secondary school, because I only ever remember them having my packed lunch at primary school, and I can't remember if they were Walkers or Smiths. I say a legendary crisp, and I can't remember fuck all about them. But I do remember absolutely loving them as a kid, and they were a thing, they were a gimmick. And then pizza, which is a bigger staple, you could argue now, with the sort of progression we've made with frozen pizza and food technology and shit like that. Doesn't seem to be a thing in crisps anymore. I don't even think Pringles have a dedicated pizza flavour crisp anymore. So, the fact that this comes in little triangular shapes, which Bits of Pizza did as well, makes me very, very, very happy to try them. Also, do I have anything new in Eddie's Bar? Well, it's funny you should ask. Welcome to Eddie's Bar. Eddie's Bar could use a trim. You know the rules. Every time I introduce something new, I have to polish off something old. It's getting a bit out of hand. Also, this is not the one you saw from the other day. I go for a jar of this a week now. I absolutely love this stuff. Why I stopped eating it from when I was a kid, I don't know. Put it in a sandwich with cheese and ham, and my God. And I'm dying again already, and I'm not even talking about the product that I'm going to be cooking in this video. I was in a world food store up Gloucester Road, and they had, if you ever come across a world food store, I'm going to say it as it is, because I don't understand why we have to be politically correct about everything for fear of offending someone when you're just given the descriptive term that it is. It's a store that sells foreign products from foreign countries, therefore it's a foreign food store. It's not a world food store. It's a foreign aisle in a supermarket. It's not a world food aisle. When did we, do you know what I mean? When did the world turn into fucking pussies? Anyway, Crystal hot sauce. Never heard of it, never seen it before. They had a whole range of products in there by Crystal. So you say, why did you buy it, Dave? Well, it's hot sauce that I've never had. However, I'm very much a fan of trying these super, super cheap hot sauces, not just because they're super cheap and therefore you might come across a hidden gem, but like, what's the quality like, and stuff like that. For every chance it could be that the quality is utterly fantastic, and it's just in this country they overprice everything and rip you off to shit, but in other countries around the world they just make stuff and charge a reasonable price for it. Therefore this only costs 70p. I know it's not the biggest bottle in the world, but let me just say that again, 70p. Anyway, let's have a look at the weather. Ugh. Look at that. Look at that. It doesn't look particularly hot or anything like that. It's about 16 degrees and it's a bit humid. We are currently on the 2nd of May, which is, I know it's not, before you correct me, but as far as I'm concerned, makes it summer now, which means just smug news presenters, smug weather presenters, people are overpaid, lefties in studios going on about how wonderfully hot it's going to be today when they're air conditioned and shit like that. And those of us who don't like the heat get to suffer now till fucking October. So I'm going to be depressed till October. However, interesting things that happened a couple of weeks ago, as I have not made a Fat Friday video for a couple of weeks, and since I've just depressed myself talking about the weather, I want to talk about something absolutely cool. They say you should never meet your heroes. Well, obviously in this case I wanted to meet my hero and it did not let me down in any way whatsoever, but there was something about it that, and I want to know if this is the same for anyone else out there, because it wasn't just it. Anyway, I went to the Haynes Car Museum a couple of weeks ago, and it's absolutely fantastic. Your ticket's about £22, but it lasts for a year, and you can pass it around and stuff like that. And honestly, it's absolutely amazing. You will get a slight headache and a sore throat because the entire museum smells of grease, oil, petrol, and diesel, and also it's staggeringly hot in there all the time because obviously like every radiator, don't touch it. I'm surprised they didn't have any pussy ass health and safety signs telling you not to touch it, because they have to keep that perfect environment for the cars. Anyway, I finally got to see in flesh, or meet in flesh I should say, a DeLorean DMC 12, and it was beautiful, honestly. You think it looks good in the movies. It looks, so where are you going with this, Dave? I'm going somewhere. It looks absolutely fantastic in person. It's absolutely amazing. And the stainless steel effect, no movies do it justice until you see it under direct, like, artificial lights and the way the light bounces off it and stuff like that. It's such a unique finish. However, do you know what's weird about it? Do you know what's really weird about it? I'm going to put a picture in here somewhere along the way anyway, so you know I'm not talking out my ass and making up this bullshit. But yeah, you know what's really, really weird about it is when you meet it in person, it's absolutely tiny. And by tiny, I don't mean mini small, but like, and obviously I grew up with it as a kid, fell in love with it in Back to the Future from the age of 10 and stuff like that. Yeah, so grew up with it as a kid. And I would say that Michael J. Fox is around about the same size as me in those movies, and obviously it's got shit bolted on the back, but when you see it in person, and I don't just mean the interior because everyone knows that's tiny, but it's actually quite a small car. It's really weird. It's like, am I the only person who finds this when you finally get to see your dream car? And the other thing is, it wasn't just this car, the XJ220, and that doesn't have ropes. You can stand next to that one. That was really, really small as well. And again, I don't mean like my car small, but you see it on movies, you play it in Gran Turismo and stuff like that, and you think it's a fucking land whale. But it's not. The Lamborghini Countach, when you meet it in person. Really, really small. Obviously, other cars around there that maybe it's because I grew up with it, but all the Jaguar E-types and stuff like that. My dad's owned loads of them, so I'm used to that. Still big, still massive, but yeah, so many cars in there, and I don't mean ones that were designed to be small, like the Fiat X19, which they had as well, and like MX5, which obviously is you don't say in the same bracket as these other cars, even though they had one in this museum for some reason, which is beyond me. They're designed to be small, but all these things that you grew up idolising as a kid, when you meet them in person, they're really small. Is it just me? I'm not saying it's disappointing, but it's just weird. Anyway, let's get into this bad boy. Yeah, a bit of a side tangent there for the weather, but I just had to know, and since this is the only vlog I'm doing this week, then let me know. Anyway, if you want to see all the amazing cars that I went to see at Haynes Car Museum, which is just up the road from the Yeovilton Air Museum, so you could do both in one day. Leave yourself about 4 hours for both of them, but it's totally doable. But yeah, I took so many pictures. They're all over my Facebook feed. You'll have to scroll back a couple of weeks or so. But if you want to know what my Facebook feed is, it's on the banner of the front page of my YouTube channel. That looks reasonably topped, doesn't it? It looks reasonably topped. It doesn't feel particularly frozen anymore as well, but it was frozen, hence the fact it's so muggy in here, which is another thing that worries me about when I cook it. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's see how they've stint on the toppings. Because the thing about these stone baked ones, or wood-fired stone baked, they're in a, get my finger, fancy range. But, therefore, it's like, I don't know, they think it's loads of cheese on a pizza, a bit fucking white trash, a bit fucking blue collar, a bit working class, and we can't be having that because they don't go mental with the cheese, do they? Also, I am aware it's quite dark in here, but fucking, my thoughts on pussy-ass, green, contradictory, hypocritical fucking save the planet light bulbs. If you don't, you should do by now. But yeah, do you know what? That's a pretty decent range of topping. Smells of absolutely nothing. I can smell pepperoni, but I can't smell any form of heat, which does concern me a little bit because if you remember, as I said, there's no hot ingredients in the top few lines of that, but there has bitten me in the ass before when I've made such bold statements that this is probably going to be pussy. So by all means, this could be all right. I'm going to do this. Right, what does it say again? 13 to 15 minutes. I'm at 180 degrees Celsius, so, excuse me, preemptive windy pops. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for 13 minutes because we're under the heat. So, and then I will adjust accordingly if I haven't fucked it up. Because as I said, your fucking pizza instructions on frozen pizzas does my head in. Right, so we won't start it yet. We'll get it in her, awkward, before we start the clock. Or he gets away with it. All about that little bit of overhang, important. Bosh. So off we go, 13 minutes. It's a bit late for me actually. This is my tea and not my dinner. It's 5 past, well, it's coming up to 5 past 7. I don't even know what's on at 5 past 7. I fucking live on YouTube normally at this time of day. Anyway, see you in a bit. Right, we're coming up to 13 minutes. I was watching the snooker, by the way. It's the semi-finals of the World Championship. Now, snooker is a sport played by highly, skilled technicians, gentlemen, if you will. It's a sport of reserve. When the fuck did they start introducing the other players like fucking boxers with the bloke on the mic, giving it a big up reverb like that and giving them nicknames and shit like this, and they walk out from the corners of the fucking crucible, studio where they're playing with the table and the audience goes fucking nuts. Like I said, like boxers. That's not what fucking snooker is. Why do we have to copy every other sport with every other sport? Snooker doesn't need that shit. Sorry, pissed me off. 13 minutes, 14 seconds. Am I going to get away with this? I'm not going to go past this time. We're undercooking it by 20 degrees. I am aware of that, but as I told you, pizza makes me nervous. Ooh! Look at that. As he burns his fingers massively. Look at that. I would say that's crispy. There's quite a chunk of, I'm dying here, pizza oil going on the top. It's super processed pizza. I am aware that's probably what's causing that. But I do also wonder if that's to do with the fact that there is honey in there as well. So, listen to that. You can go in sharp and let's cut this bad boy up. Do you know what? I haven't fucked it for once. I haven't fucked it. So let's cut this pizza. I'll give you a closer look at what it looks like. Apologies if you can hear my dog crying, but you know what? So she's what, 8 months, 9 months old now? When they're puppies and they're really, really young, it's nice because they're not like, they're not interested in people food. They only want their food, and you don't get any of this constant begging and crying, which I know is a survival instinct of a dog because they don't know when they're ever going to eat again, which is stupid, but well, they don't know they're domesticated. But she's now at the stage which is, I smell food, I want to eat it. Now, what does this smell like? This just smells like a regular pepperoni pizza. I cannot smell any level of heat on this whatsoever, which I would hope that I could for a pizza that's got a 3 chili rating. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, plenty of topping as well. Plenty of topping, apart from cheese. But as I mentioned, that's because it's a snobby pizza that thinks it's for upper class people, and upper class people can't have too much dairy, can they? Because they're all lactose intolerant and fucking idiots. I'm sorry, but I'm putting you back on. Right. Let's crack into this bad boy. Right, so Iceland's wood-fired, stone-baked pizza, hot honey pepperoni. 3 chili rating. Almost dropped that then, did you see that? 3 chili rating. I got a bit of a gappy wrist at the moment, but let's get a piece of this. Right, 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it, please be hot. Tickle. definite tickle. Nothing to write home about. Forgot my fire extinguisher of choice. Those napkins aren't going to cut shit for this, are they? We're going to go, as we're still with... Oh, the tickle's getting up there a bit. It's obviously no super spicy hot one, you know. Carolina Reaper and all that shit. Tesco Lemon and Lime Zero. This stuff, as you know if you watch this series of videos, is the tits. Right. The base, I will say it, their bases are amazing. It's really crisp, really nice. It's nice consistency. It's light. It's very, very light. I'm draining my own salivation here. I said there's not much cheese. There's enough cheese going on. Pepperoni for, you know, processed pizzas. Absolutely fantastic. There's a definite, very rich underlying taste because the bits here have gone absolutely squiggly. Palate cleanse. There's a definite very rich. Now I'm going to assume, excuse me, rich and sweet, that's obviously the honey, which is doing exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah, it's weird. It hits the back of your throat and gives a little bit of a burn, and then if someone who doesn't like sweet food, doesn't eat a massive amount of sweet food anyway, there's a bit of a, oh, that's very rich. It's like eating Christmas cake, but it's not unpleasant, and it's hit my chest a bit. Do you know what? It's not going to blow your mind or anything like that. It's not going to change your life. It's making these bits here go mental. There's so much flavour in this. It's ridiculous. Or it might just be the fact that it's honey. But yeah, this is really, really nice. Completely lost my thread. It's very rich. I know it's rising at the back of my throat a bit. Yeah, it's only just 3 chili rating because it's on my chest again. Little tingle on the back of my lips, mainly the back of my throat and on my chest, but it's very rich. It's very, very tasty. As I said, for super processed pepperoni on a frozen pizza, it's amazing. But maybe because I don't eat sweet food, I can imagine when I get through that, it's going to be quite a lot. Like, this is very, very rich. Excuse me, Winnie Pops. Would I recommend it? £3, by the way. £3. I think there's an offer if you buy 3 or something. Is it 3 for £7.50? So rich. Yeah, I'd buy it again. I do recommend it. You probably love it. If you've had it, I'd love to know what you think. But I don't like sweet food. I'm not saying I don't like this, but it's a bit much in the rich department. But I thoroughly recommend it. I'd love to know what you think as well, especially if you've had this, because I think it's about 2 months old. Anyway, this is killing me. I've never had a pizza that's done this to my mouth. The bits here in my taste buds is fucking insane. It's like, it's really strong in the taste department and not the heat department, but it's not complete pussy in the heat department, if that makes sense. Anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.